Hey guys, Jcc2224 here. Now, I really want to be honest with you guys. I've been feeling very off about my videos recently because I feel like I'm kind of making a video that's a presentation more so than just me making a video featuring the toys, but also me being me. So I decided for JCC 2.0 I want to have a more casual review series where I literally review anything I want. I don't care about what views it'll get, who will click on the video, because I know there is a pretty heavy bias on my channel towards Star Wars and Clone Troopers. However, if you've ever seen my room, you may notice that there's a little more to my collection than just Star Wars and Clone Troopers. I'm quite the fan of, say, Transformers and Gundam and giant robots. And I just got my hands on the Titan's Return Leader Class Overlord. And I really want to freaking talk about this thing because I really, really love it. And I just want to make a more casual video, more unedited, where I'm just kind of talking about the toy. I'm talking about the figure. I'm pretty much letting you know all you need to really know about it, while at the same time just kind of chilling out with you guys. So this is Leader Class Overlord. Now, if you don't know who Overlord is, he is a G1 character from the Masterforce, I believe, Japanese show. His toy never made it to the States, and it's ridiculously expensive. I was on eBay a little while ago, and I looked up the G1 Overlord, and I saw an incomplete listing missing the missiles on the top for hundreds of dollars. I'm talking, I think, more than $400. An incomplete G1 Overlord. So that'll give you an idea of how very interesting this release is, because not only was this character never really in the American market to begin with, either with the shows or with the toys, but Hasbro made a completely new and original mold for him, and they made such a fantastic mold. Now, I want to talk about something else before I really talk about the figure. I grew up with Transformers Cybertron back in 2005, and those toys are very big, very beefy, very chunky and heavy, and very blocky. And those were a lot of the Transformers I grew up with. You may even be able to see a little bit of them behind Overlord there. There's my whole Transformers Cybertron display. And the first thing I felt after opening up Overlord was, dang, this thing really feels like a Transformers Cybertron figure. This thing feels like it was released 12 years ago in a very, very good way. It's a very simplistic figure while at the same time just accomplishing what needs to be done. This is a borderline masterpiece for Overlord. Now, as a figure, it's very, very nicely made. However, there are a couple things about it. It kind of didn't keep the whole, what was it, Power Master gimmick, because in Master Force there were Power Masters, where instead of Headmasters you had little guys that plugged into the chest and they powered up the guys. You can see in here there's two little holes for Masters, Power Masters. However, you can't put Power Masters in there. There's no Power Masters. All you have is the Titan Master, which is a redo of a Headmaster. And let's talk about that because it's kind of its own thing. Looking at this little dude, he does look like one of Overlord's G1 Power Masters. I don't remember exactly which one. Is it Giga? I don't remember. It could have been Giga. I don't remember the name of the other one. But what you pretty much do with this guy, you fold him up. And you see the head sculpt here, which it's very Megatron-y, but hey, that's Overlord. He's the leader of the Decepticons in Master Force, so that's pretty interesting. You just put a face. You put a face in his boob, pretty much. And once you get that done, you're just looking at a face in a boob. That's all it is. It used to be a little block of power, and whenever you put it in on the G1 toys, say on this side you put it in and these little guns here would spring out. Nothing happens here. Then you would put a thing in his boob on this side, and then a thing would flip out, and that's not here. It's just sculpted detail, but honestly, I don't miss it. I really don't miss it. I don't wish that it had it. The Takara version does actually have a new head sculpt that I don't believe is a Titan or Headmaster, and it does have both of the Power Masters. So if you're wanting a more G1 faithful Overlord, get the Takara one. However, for me, I just want a nice, beefy, chunky Transformer toy, and this really, really does the job. Talking about the articulation on this thing, because it's really basic. He has a swivel at the head, but this is interesting. It can actually look up. I don't know why. You can actually have his head tilted up. And it actually does help with some poses. It's a very interesting little feature. And you can transform him without removing the Headmaster, which I really do enjoy. The shoulder articulation here, you can get an outward from this joint here, but you also have another outwards, so you can use both joints if you want in your posing. Of course, pretty standard stuff otherwise, no wrist articulation. Nothing at the waist for a very special reason. You have outwards at the legs, which can go super, super far out. Far out, bro. That was terrible. And then you can swivel the thigh, and then you can bend the knee, and then you can bend the knee this way. That's for transformation. We'll get to that. And then his ankles are amazing. So you can move his legs. Yeah, these are his legs. You can move his toes, I guess. But look at this ankle pivot. And it's a very nice pivot, too. I remember, no one else has really shown this in a long time. I remember Glenn Webb. He used to show the widest stance possible, still with both feet flat on the floor. And he can do a full Van Damme. He's got that going on, so that's very interesting that Hasbro decided, hey, let's give our freaking blocky transformer super deep ankle pivots. I appreciate it. Going over the details real quick, you can see it's details. It's a transformer. It does have a little wheel on his crotch, I find pretty funny. But you can see he's got these stickers. I don't know how I feel about these. This is probably my only complaint about this figure. They put stickers over sculpted detail. Now, these stickers are supposed to evoke the G1 toy, yes, but they look terrible. They're very thin stickers, and I actually had to apply some for the Titan's Return Giant Triptychon. And the stickers are paper thin. I mean, of course they're paper thin, but they're tissue paper thin. They're like 1-ply tissue paper thin, and they rip easily. It's a real shame. And look at this. They put the Decepticon symbol over sculpted detail, and you can see how it's kind of all weird and riveted. That's wrong. Why did they do that? I just don't understand. The back here also, I believe, has a nice big sticker, but it's actually a nice sticker because it's not really over sculpted detail. I do appreciate that one. Pretty much that's most of the robot mode details. It's a robot. Oh, these stickers. You see these mostly in jet mode, but those are pretty terrible. His accessories are pretty simple. You already saw the Titan Master. However, he does have a little gun. He's got a little gun. It's like a lavender gun. Okay, I guess Overlords have lavender guns. And then he has this, which I'm not really sure how I feel about. It's literally the nose cone of his jet that you just tab on his arm. Now, you can do a few things with this. Number one, you got to make sure that the tab actually comes out with the thing, because sometimes it doesn't like doing that. And then you have to take this. You have to take this right here, and you just got to put it in. Plug it in. And then you have, look at that. You have a nose cone to a thing. Now, you can remove this because this was actually a pre-tool. This mold was obviously made for Overlord. However, they repainted it and retooled it into Sky Shadow or Black Shadow first. I don't know why I didn't buy Black/Sky Shadow, but Sky Shadow does have a little drone as his nose cone, so they still have that feature here. And you can flip up the cockpit to seat a Titan Master, and you can flip this down for base mode because he has a freaking base mode. Now, I will show you the transformations because they're really nice and simple. Now, what you can do here, you can either have it on his arm, and you do have a little landing gear you can use, or you can tab it on his back. And this is kind of what I prefer doing because it kind of gets it out of the way, and it just looks weird. Just a giant nose cone on him. He's pretty kibbleless, besides if you have this on his back, which it doesn't really bother me. And overall, I'm really, really impressed with this robot mode. Now, I want to show you the base mode before I actually talk about his two alternate modes, because this is a very, very unique transformer in the way that it has two completely separate entity vehicle modes. It's not a triple changer, it's like a half changer, I guess. So let's transform him. First thing you want to do is take off the gun, and we should probably remove the Titan Master so you can actually see the interactions with it. You can keep the helmet there if you want, but I'll probably flip it over. You can flip this up. You just flip up the nose cone, and it's a little tall there, but it's no real issue. And then what you do with the arms, you pretty much just transform them into jet mode. So you flip out the little winglets here, flip in the hand, push in the arm, and tab it into the side. Super basic, but yet again, really reminds me of Transformers Cybertron toys, which I absolutely love. He doesn't have a lot of hollow bits. He's pretty enclosed, so that's a very nice thing. Turning him around, you take these panels and you untab these and just kind of let these dingle dongle for a little bit. And then you take his legs. You fold out these little connectors here, and I'll explain what those are later on. And then you can just flip that in. You can flip this out if you want, just this one. I actually like doing this because it just makes it a little more unique. You take all this on this hinge and you flip it up like that. And then you take the legs, twist them over, and double hinge them. Flip the thigh, take them over. You take these, tab them in. Then you take the gun, tab it into his butt. Then you take the little Titan Master dude, and then you can just tab him anywhere. You can just tab him, let's tab him right there, because that's a nice little spot. It's a nice little spot, isn't it? I guess it's not. Here, where can we tab this little boy? Here, I'm going to try right here. This thing is actually bothering me. I'm going to tab him in right there. There we go. So there's his base mode. Overlord has a base mode. And I typically don't care for these base modes because they're typically really, really weird. But this one's alright. This one's alright. It looks decent. Looks the part. It actually looks like a base. You can take the tank cockpit here, and you can put the Titan Master inside if you want. As you can tell, the jet is literally just hanging out back there. There's almost nothing extra you do for transformation for the jet. You pretty much saw the jet transformation. Now what you can do, if you want, you can untab this, flip it over, and have this panel sticking on the front, and just having this folded down for the, it's like a little platform if you want. It's a little hard to do without tabbing that off. So you could have the Titan Master standing right there and this be like a little command post, but it looks kind of weird and it does require a little bit of parts forming, so I typically don't do that. Kanan there is pretty nice. That's pretty much the only place to tab it. I'm surprised you can't really tab it on this half of the tank, but hey, what can you do? So let's remove the Titan Master and let's get him into both jet and tank mode. So we got to remove this, yet again, kind of parts forming for just the gun here, unless you want to tab that onto his shoulder in robot mode, which you can tab it on both shoulders. So you pretty much just straighten this up, take these panels, move them back up here. These also do keep the hinge in place, the hinge you saw. Then you just yank it. You just yank it off. And this is the jet mode. That is essentially the whole jet mode. So we can set that off to the side. And this tank transformation, I want to return this to its original leg mode as reasonably as I can, just to show you how ingenuitive this is. I forgot to mention these. These are for tabbing on to the giant Titan's Return figures, like the Fortress Maximus and the Triptychon if you want. I think you can maybe even link them up to other leader class figures. I'm not exactly sure, but who really does base modes? Who really does base modes? You probably do want to take these, flip them back in, and it got a little out of focus. Let's get that back in focus. There we go. You want to take these, flip them back in, and this is crazy. Well, it's not really that crazy. So the tank turrets fold into the shins, right? And when you fold them out, there's this hollow place. You just completely fold this over. Boom, there you go. Tab it in. There's the tank. That is so simple and so fun at the same time. Now, I believe this toy is a very interesting item. I was going to say something different, but I decided to word it differently, so that's kind of how my brain works. I believe this toy will suffer from the, if you don't have all the parts, it's going to be kind of crappy syndrome, because if you don't have the gun, the tank is crap. If you don't have the front of the jet, the whole jet is just a giant block with engines on it. And if you don't have the jet, you just have legs. And if you don't have the tank, you just have an upper body. And if you don't have the Titan Master, you don't have a face. So this is one of those figures where you want to get it complete. I can't think of a single part that could be missing that would not upset me. But let's look at the tank here, because the tank is very, very simplistic. It doesn't even really have any stickers on it, from what you can see. It has 3 wheels, 2 right there, and the wheel on the crotch. Very simplistic. You can't turn the turret. Oh, it does have the Decepticon symbols, as you can see right there. So he's a Decepticon. You can take this up, put the little Titan Master inside, close it up, boom, there you go. That's pretty neat. I do like the tank. The jet is very, very reminiscent of a Blackbird jet. And I love that about this thing. It is so much like a Blackbird jet. It really reminds me of an ROTF Jetfire kind of alt mode. I kind of wonder if they would make some sort of ROTF Jetfire Optimus Prime 2-pack with this. I really doubt it. Hasbro doesn't really do stuff that crazy anymore. Who would even want that? Oh, this looks kind of like a Blackbird jet, so let's repaint an ROTF Jetfire and let's somehow make a tank Optimus Prime. That wouldn't work. That would not work. Please don't do that, Hasbro. Scratch that idea. So this is very black, because most of the other color is on the other side. However, you do have the white right here and those awful stickers. What can you do, though? And that's pretty much all there is to it. It's essentially what you just saw, but just slightly different. Of course, you do have the landing skids. They're not landing gear, they're just skids. And the little connectors here, which I believe you might be able to connect with I think it's another base connector, I believe. I'm not exactly sure. But you can just have the jet there, and you can have the tank there, and there is your leader class Overlord. There is $45 of fun. I really love this figure. I just wanted to make a toy video talking about it. I was just about to make a toy video talking about it. I just want to make a video talking about it because I really do enjoy this, and I want you guys to let me know if you enjoy these more casual videos because I actually really enjoyed making this. And the next video will also be a more casual video because, hey, you know, we gotta have a little more casual. I was about to say, we gotta have more casualty to the channel. No, please, I don't want people to die. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. Check out my social medias. All of them are down in the description below. You can follow me there. You can message me on any of those social medias, and I will try my best to reply. That's pretty much it, guys. Have a good day, and I'll see you in the next video. Whoosh, whoosh. This really reminds me of a freaking Megazord, too, because of just how it connects. I don't know. It's just such an interesting transformer. How this is one figure, but two modes. Okay, I'm done. See you later. Bye-bye.